Hey traders, welcome to phase number 2, the transition course. So far you've learned about the anatomy of a candlestick, you've learned about how the markets move, you now understand trend and structure, and you have a grasp on the indicators and the candlestick entry patterns that we're going to be using throughout this course and throughout this phase in the transition course. If you don't have a complete grasp of all of those aspects, then what I would suggest is going back through the beginners section of this course once more to make sure you actually understand all of this, is because we are going to be using all of those aspects to create a trading plan in the transition phase. So once you comprehend all of those, we'll go ahead and move on to the transition phase. Now, the purpose of this transition phase is to take you from a trader who's not profitable or who is struggling in your trading and show you exactly what it takes. Make sure you understand what it takes to create a profitable and correct trading plan, a correct business plan for your trading. This entire section is going to be dedicated to showing you exactly how to create a trading plan. And everything you learn throughout this phase of the course can be applied to any strategy you use on any time frame. In this phase, you're going to be learning one simple yet effective strategy. You'll learn how to backtest this strategy to get an estimation of the performance of this strategy. You'll then learn how to pick the best pairs to put in your portfolio for your trading plan based around drawdown and return on investment. You'll learn the aspects to creating your own risk and money management plan based on your personal risk tolerance. You will then learn how to correctly trade in a demo account and what the purpose of the process of trading in a demo account actually is. And all of this will combine to give you the information you need to create your own trading plan. And the best part is we'll be doing all of this side by side together as you follow along with the video lessons throughout this phase. So traders, you'll be learning a massive amount of information throughout this phase of the course, but by the end of it, you will know exactly how to create your own trading plan. So quickly, before we get started with learning the pullback strategy, let's talk about the importance of backtesting. So throughout this phase of the course, it's probably going to be tempting for you not to do some of the work yourself. Meaning that throughout this phase of the course, I'm going to be showing you guys some of my own backtesting results. I'm going to be backtesting a couple of pairs with you, and that in turn may tempt you just to go ahead and start trading this strategy on your own without testing it for yourself and without creating a full trading plan around this strategy. I would highly suggest you not do that, and I would actually just urge you, please do not do that. If you do, you are setting yourself up for failure. Yes, this process is difficult, but without it, your likelihood of success falls dramatically. It's extremely important that you backtest the strategy on at least 10 different pairs yourself in order to gain confidence in the strategy and understand how it works throughout time. It's also important that you create your own risk management plan based on your risk tolerance, and that you create an entire trading plan around this strategy. So again, do not take my word for it. Go out, test this strategy for yourself on the pairs that we choose, and that will set you up to have a much higher likelihood of achieving success after this phase of the course. Now, a question that I often get asked is, can this strategy be used on different time frames? You'll see that this strategy is used on the 4-hour time frame throughout the phase of this course, but the answer to that question is yes. It's not that I've backtested it on every other time frame or that I use it on every other time frame, but throughout this phase of the course, in the transition phase, you're going to learn how to create a trading plan. It's going to be no different if you decide to place this strategy on a 1-hour chart or a 1-week chart. You may be somebody that wants to day trade, you may be a swing trader, and you may be a long-term investor. Because of that, you may want to take this strategy and trade it on a daily chart, a weekly chart, or even on a 1-hour or 30-minute chart. Do not just take it and start trading on those time frames. Follow the same step-by-step process we do here in the transition phase and create a trading plan around this strategy on that time frame. So for instance, if you'd like to trade on a 30-minute chart, all you would do is take this same process, the same step-by-step process of backtesting, picking the best pairs, creating a risk and money management plan around that based on the performance, demo trading, and then when you're comfortable trading live. You would have to go through that same process if you're trying to trade this on a different time frame. And the last thing we're going to discuss before we get started with learning the pullback strategy is something called the law of probabilities, because it's extremely important that you understand how having an advantage or having an edge over the market actually works. Because too many times I see traders that think that having a 70% winning percentage means you're going to win every 7 out of 10 trades, when this is just not true. Even if you have a 70% winning percentage, you could lose 10 trades in a row. And it's because of this thing called the law of probability. So what does this law state? Well, this law states that if you have a quarter and you flip it 10 times, the likelihood of that quarter hitting 5 heads and 5 tails is actually extremely low. Although you have a 50% chance of hitting heads and a 50% chance of hitting tails, the likelihood of after 10 flips of that quarter, of you having 50-50, 5 heads and 5 tails, the likelihood of that happening is extremely low. And this is because of that law of probabilities. Whereas, if you were to flip that coin 1,000 times, the likelihood of having 500 heads and 500 tails is actually pretty high. So what this law of probabilities comes down to is sample size. Sample size does matter when it comes to your probabilities of winning a trade, or your probabilities in this case of hitting heads or hitting tails with this quarter. So therefore, the reason it's important to understand this when it comes to trading is because even if we create this strategy, for instance, the pullback strategy has between a 55 and 65% chance of winning each and every time I place that trade. Based on all the information you're going to learn in this course, based on the trading plan you're going to learn how to create, we have around a 55 to a 65% chance to win. Now, the important part to note is that that doesn't mean that 6 out of every 10 trades will win. We've had 10 losers in a row. What that means is that more than likely out of 100, out of 1,000 trades, 60% of those trades are more than likely going to be winning trades. So remember that while trading, remember that while testing, the sample size does matter. And that's why it's important to test enough when you're back testing, and also important not to freak out too much if you end up having a pretty bad drawdown where you lose 9 to 10 trades in a row. This is something that happens due to the law of probabilities. So now that we have an understanding of that and an understanding of what the purpose of this transition phase is, let's go ahead and jump right into learning the pullback strategy. Then we'll go into back testing it together, picking the best pairs. We'll learn the aspects it takes to create your own risk management plan around your risk tolerance. We'll do a little demo trading together. And after that, once you feel comfortable, you can take this strategy, this trading plan you'll learn, and do with it as you choose. Now, I know I went through that very quickly, but this phase of the course may very well take you between 3 and 6 months, and that is more than fine, guys. It takes a long time to really master this type of thing, but having this transition phase will definitely speed up your process. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the pullback strategy, and I'll see you guys in that video.